down.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Wisdom and Wine. I am Tiara. We have a very special guest here today.
I'm Derek.
Hi, Michelle. Today we're having Derek, this is my son, on here on live to talk and give his perspective. I had to snag him while he was in town for the holidays.
Yes. And happy holidays to you all, by the way.
Yes, and as you can tell, he's super excited to be on here with us.
But we got a really juicy topic, and his perspective is going to be very helpful with this topic. And we also invite you all, as always, to chime in on the conversation. Whether you are seeing this live or whether you see it afterwards, we do look in the comments and we'll see who has chimed in. And that kind of can help us to follow up in the future with other Wisdom and Wine episodes, or to just kind of reflect on the topic and hear other people's perspective on it as well. So, what are we talking about today, girl?
Cheating.
Cheater, we are pumpkin.
We are talking about different perspectives on cheating. So if you have a viewpoint and you want to give some comments or questions down while we're live, go right ahead. We will try to catch all of them, but we are going to talk about cheating today.
Yes. Okay. So my cup is full and ready to go.
I mean, yes. Today we're drinking a strawberry wine, just in case anybody's saying vinaigrette, but it's a strawberry wine. Very good.
I think on the last episode we had the blueberry.
Yes, it was like a blueberry.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is that same brand.
Yes.
And this is the strawberry one. This strawberry one is the bomb.
It's very good.
And I was feeling it.
Yes.
When I first tried it, I was like feeling it instantly. So, all right. So I'm diving in with the first question. Is cheating always physical?
What do you think? So I don't think cheating is always physical. I think sometimes it can be, I think cheating can be, I think anytime that you have to hide something from the person that you're dealing with, it can be a form of cheating.
I agree.
Like whether you're texting somebody and you're keeping it private, whether, anything like that to me if you have to hide it, is a form of cheating.
I agree. And let us know what you think in the comments as well, whether you're a male or a female. But I agree with you. I would say, though, that the physical is the ultimate for me. Like, physical is the ultimate.
Yes.
Because to a degree, some people would say that liking women's pictures on Instagram is kind of a form of cheating, or commenting under women's photos is a form of cheating. But you would have other people that would say that's normal.
Yes.
It's normal for a man. I mean, first of all, women put it out there,
right.
So much.
Right.
Like, you see so many women who are uncovered, so they don't make it, hard for you to,
right.
slide in their algorithm.
Right.
So it's like, to a degree, to me, seeing men liking women's photos, I would say that's normal for me. Now, do I like it? Absolutely not. And I'm not in a relationship.
So I was going to say, how would you interpret it, though, if you was seeing somebody and they was doing it?
I would feel some type of way, friend.
What about you, Derek? What do you think about men who do that? Like, if they're in a relationship and they are loving and liking females' sexy pics, we'll say, thirst traps, whatever you want to call them. Do you think that men are, some men it's innocent? Do you think that, men are visual creatures.
Right.
So, and even if he's not hopping in the inbox or commenting underneath it, do you still think it's a form of disrespect to the woman he's with?
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I don't honestly believe that.
And that's what this is about. Right.
A like is a like. It's just literally a simple motion on your thumb.
Yeah. So there's nothing to it.
It's nothing to it. Again, obviously, the like is for the picture, but at the end of the day, if nothing is going any further than that,
then it's not cheating to you.
Yeah.
And then also,
and not necessarily cheating, but yes.
I'm thinking too, there are some people who are in poly relationships, or there are some people who are in relationships and they may look at another woman with their mate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I've got friends who, they'll look at a booty with their man. And,
I'm not a poly, but if a woman's attractive, she's attractive.
Right.
I give credit. But for me, when it comes to social media, I think the only time it ever would be a bother to me, to be honest with you, is if your energy with me isn't the same.
that part.
So that's
like,
where I kind of get bothered. Like,
Yeah.
if you are my man and you over here liking all these females pictures and
You
I
gotta
can't
be
get
my
no
number
love,
one damn fan.
like you ain't giving me no energy. Like you either get off of theirs if you ain't on mine, then don't be on theirs either. Shit, let's keep it mutual.
That's right. Yeah. And
do you agree?
Yeah, that makes sense. So.
Yeah. Because like, why are you with me at this point?
Yeah.
I mean, be with them because you're giving them all kinds of love. Shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, I got another question. Hold on, we got a comment.
Is there a comment? I apologize. Is there?
It looks like it was one on here.
Oh, hey.
Samuel said,
Hey.
I just now. Oh, hey, how you doing?
Hi, Samuel.
All right, so we're talking all about cheating. Feel free, Samuel, anybody else that is tuned in to chime in the comments. But is cheating grounds to leave somebody?
Derek.
Is cheating grounds
as a man,
to leave?
from your perspective as a man, is cheating grounds for you to leave if your wife, girl, woman, whoever cheats on you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, at that point, there's no point in the relationship at that point.
It's just over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They've already shown you what they're capable of doing and what they're willing to do and how far they're willing to go with another person. So at that point, the relationship's already done.
But we have some people that would say otherwise. Like, for example, if you're locked into a marriage, it's not as easy to just walk away from that marriage, right? If you've invested in it, and I'm not just talking about emotional investments here, I'm talking about the financial investments. If you guys are financially intertwined or if you guys have children together, it may not necessarily be as easy for a person to walk away. You can say it all day long. I mean, like me asking that question, you can be like, yeah, it's grounds to cheat. But like, what if you are locked in? Or what if you and this person have been together for a long time, growing together? What if you can't see yourself without that person? There are some people who would stay.
Like, what I mean, what if you think like, so like if you're married, because, you know, you've been married. And if they're
I'm going to get him a bucket.
Right. Like, let me go put all your business out there. Like, and, you know, your wife cheats, you know, and your money's together, all your finances, you have a couple kids, we'll say hypothetically. Mm-hmm. And, like, would it be that easy for you to be like, I'm out? Like that.
No prenup in place.
Yeah, so you making some money.
Again, the relationship's already over, so at that point, it's just more of you doing your part of planning ahead and getting, you know, going through that whole process of, you know, divorcing or what have you. So,
you think it's still dead regardless? Like, there's nothing to work on.
Correct.
Right.
At that point.
Right.
Now, with that being said, I'm not going to deny that both parties are at fault if that's the case, due to the simple fact that 9 times out of 10, being cheated on usually is there's a lack of something. So something is missing.
So that's something we're going to touch on, so we can roll right into it.
Let's do that.
What is it? Like, is there a reason?
Right. So, like, what if the person is cheating because they're not getting a kitty cat from the lady? Or, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, what if this person has a valid reason to cheat? Like, what if emotionally they're not being supported and they've tried? Or what if physically they're not getting their needs met and they're really, really trying? They're putting in this effort before they go out and cheat, and then they go out and cheat. So having that type of, like, if you have a reason per se to cheat, or if there's a lack of something, does that make it right?
Right.
Even then, it's not right. I mean, you're betraying the other person's trust and effort.
So do you think if that's the case, you should just leave if you feel the need that you have to cheat or you're getting lack of something in your relationship, just leave
absolutely.
the relationship instead of like
100%.
cheating? We have a comment. Samuel said, hey, I can relate to y'all because I got cheated on and I never cheat on the person that I was with. Hey, we all can understand that.
Yeah.
We all been there. So.
Have you ever been cheated on?
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, I don't know that question.
Yeah.
Times.
Honestly, I was just curious to know because I was getting ready to say, I mean, I think we all have been cheated on, but I didn't want to say that, and then you haven't been.
Right, there you go. Not me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
so, you know, something that I will say. Hey, y'all. So something that I will say.
Somebody else said definitely leave.
Yeah, I agree. But I just wanted to play devil's advocate and ask, just because there are some people who have those investments or those things locked in place, and those are reasons why some people will stay and genuinely be unhappy in their situations, but will stay and forgive a person for cheating, or, you know, allow a person to stay with them and be a cheater.
Right. And I think too, like in my past experiences, when I have forgave, it's never like changed nothing. And then on top of it, if I have forgiven, you know, well, technically you might hypothetically forgive, but you don't ever forget.
Right.
So then for me, it just made the relationship worse.
Yeah,
because then I'm on guard.
Happen.
You got me looking. I'm like every word and everything you do, I'm trying to piece it together.
Yeah.
You could be at that point. You could be going and living down the right path, and I'm over there like, nope.
Yeah.
It ain't adding up. You cheating. Like I just ain't gonna trust you. For me, once I lose respect for you, sometimes that trust is a wrap. Like if I lose respect for you as a person, like and don't trust you on top of it, it's a wrap. Even if I stick around longer than I should, it's normally a wrap.
Hell, and to be honest with you, there have been times where like I've seen that the person who was the cheater in the relationship, the other person will forgive them, right? But then the cheater is accusing that person of cheating.
Oh, that happens. You heard of that happening, Derek? That's
I've heard of it happening. I've really never experienced
I think
that.
because I've never experienced it, but I think it becomes an insecurity within them because then they're like on guard because they know that they deserve maybe that lick back.
Yeah.
So they waiting to get it. Like, when
but the cheating in the first place could be like an insecurity within themselves. Any more comments?
Tim said, "Ooh wee, tell the truth and shame the devil." Angela, Miss Preston. She said she's here to hear Derek's wit and wisdom.
Very witty here. Very witty.
Say hi to Angela. She said hi.
Hi, stranger.
Investments like business. Do partnerships and still file divorce though? Probably be better as friends. But she's saying like, what about if you have investments like business?
Right.
Again, that's an unfortunate side effect and consequence that the other person didn't take into account. At least to me.
Like they didn't consider you at all.
They didn't consider it.
None of it. The cheater.
So, yes, correct.
So I want to give another perspective on cheating that I have heard from a man before. I have heard from a man like that he has a great woman at home, like a great woman, loves this woman, don't plan on leaving this woman, but is just cheating like honestly for the fuck of it or for the fun of it. Like absolutely not having a reason to necessarily cheat, but still wants to here and there. So
on that note, I have a friend, this has been years and years and years ago. And he actually had a long-term girlfriend, beautiful. Not that looks are everything, but I want that to be out there. He was an extremely handsome guy. So getting women was never an issue for him. With that said, they ended up buying a house together. Like they might have been, I'm trying to think if they ended up getting married or was engaged. But either or, it was serious. And me and him was really good friends. And I used to ask him why he cheated. Like I would see some of the females. Like, they was
they ugly?
No comparison to her. Like, I just would be like, I don't, you know what I mean? But in his mind, he was never trying to replace her in his mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're not going to be a comparison because he's not looking to get somebody comparable. You know what I mean? So, and this was before, like, the whole, like, iPhone texting, how it was big.
Yeah.
So she ended up finding out because a girl ended up emailing her pictures. That was back when you emailed stuff. Okay. And the irony of it is that I used to tell him all the time, one day she's going to find out. Like, he cheated before and she found out. But I was like, one day she's going to leave you and you're going to forever regret it. Yeah. And I was like, why do you do it knowing there's consequences? Yeah. And literally his words were the thrill of it. Like, he really got off on the thrill of being able to get away with it. Like, he thought that was so, like, thrilling. Like, you know what I mean? And he was so cocky in a sense that I don't think he believed she'd ever leave because she stayed through so much. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then when she finally left him, he really was devastated. Yeah. And for like years after, I remember meeting up with him one time and we ran into her at a bar and he said that was his biggest regret. I don't know about today. This has been some years ago. But I'm like, and I remember saying to him, like, I told you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, all that was not even worth it. You know,
Yeah.
thankfully now he's remarried and has kid. And
hopefully he learned his lesson.
Hopefully he learned his lesson. Girl, he was younger too. So,
yeah.
You know, we maybe hope we chuck up some immaturity, but who knows?
Yeah.
But my point is some people do it for the thrill. Like, literally, it's like, I got away with it once, I'm going to keep getting away with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Thinking you're never going to get caught.
Yeah.
Like, do you think some men do it for that reason?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can, I mean, that can be equated to anything, any sort of crime.
Yeah.
I mean, you get away with get away with it once. Now you're like, well, I can obviously do it again. So
do you feel like men kind of have that type of perspective? If a woman does forgive them for cheating, do you feel like
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They take advantage of it 100%.
Ouch.
So let's do the devil advocate perspective in the sense of, because we're saying men, but we know women cheat.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Women obviously cheat.
What? Yeah.
I know it's so rare that we do it, but you know it happens.
And you know what
every
else?
once in a while.
I feel like there is this. I have heard men say that like when men cheat, it's not as personal or it's not as serious as when a woman cheats. And I really hate to hear that. That irritates me. It grinds my gears.
Well, in the sense of like, it's not as much like if a man
Yeah,
does it,
like
there's not as much
men
emotional attachment.
Yes,
and then,
men-
but when a woman do it, like men look at it like there's more emotional attachment there, like
Yes.
for a female.
I
I
would
definitely kind
disagree.
of somewhat heard that before too. What do you think? Do you think that's some truth to it?
I think there's truth to that.
Why?
Mostly just because men and women have a different perspective on sex in general. So
Do you think it's because, and not to get like, but do you think it's because a man looks at a female and knows another man had to enter her per se?
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely,
whereas a man,
absolutely.
your parts are outside
And-
of your body,
and-
so
and-
you're just like, eh.
But I'm gonna disagree and say that's not always the case. Now there are some women who, yeah, it's got to be some sort of emotional tie or it may be a deeper attachment, you know, there. But women have evolved, okay? And there are some women who will do it and not have no type of emotions attached to the man that they're cheating with.
Yes. Do you think that's possible, Derek?
I think it's possible. It's just generally speaking, I think it's usually men.
Not as common.
Yeah, I think men have a easier time to disconnect with a one night stand than
A female.
a woman could.
Well, what about men who like cheat and start to fall for that other person though?
That's it for them.
That sucks. There's that witty comment. It sucks for them, like, because there are men who probably that do fall. But do you think that comes with hitting it more than once? Obviously,
Yeah.
like it's somebody who's
Yeah.
around, like it. Like you're saying, a one night stand. Like a man
Yeah.
could have a one night stand and be like deuces and be cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Where in his mind, a one night stand, like females, if I have one, there's a better chance that once I do it, then I might be later like, oh my god, I think I really like it. You know, because we do
Or
have an
you'll wanna do it
emotional and want to
wanna
do it again. Because we do have more emotional like connection with people than what you all do.
When it comes to sex specifically.
Yes, I do. There are some women, I agree, like you said, that can just be like wham bam and be done with it.
Yeah.
But I do think that women can get emotionally attached quicker sometimes than men when it comes to the sexual aspect of it.
I agree. We got any more comments?
No, just more people joined.
Yeah, and I definitely do agree with that statement. It was something that I was gonna say, but I'll kind of turn. I know it'll come back. Okay, so I have another question. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Is that true?
You
To
think
me-
people
to me,
can be
yes.
reformed?
Yeah.
Do you think they can find Jesus and
Yeah.
turn their life around?
I remember what I was gonna say too, by the way. So, like,
Go
do you
ahead.
guys think it's a difference in cheating if a person does have a one night stand versus a person who is like having an affair like over time?
I think cheating's cheating.
Yeah. Cheating is cheating.
I don't think.
What
that
about
there's-
y'all? What about y'all who have tuned in? Is
Yes,
is
the cheating
cheating
online. Do you think? Yeah.
Is cheating, or would it make a difference to you per se, or in any type of situation, in your opinion, if that person just had a little one-time thing versus somebody consecutively?
And sometimes if we go back to staying or not, some people are like, well, he only did it once. That we know of,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
If we was to look at it from your point of view,
Mm-hmm.
she could say he only cheated once, that's why I stayed. But that's
But at the end of the day, you
Yeah.
also the person who's saying that can also have the same thought in their head of, okay, is he going to do it again?
Right.
When is he going to do it again?
Yeah.
Or when are they going to do it again?
Like then there's that trigger
What,
that.
do I have to be controlling and control who they talk to now, and control their interactions with other people, or can I trust them enough to not do it again? But I mean, realistically speaking, most people will have that thought gnawing in the back of their head.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've actually so I've actually had an ex that was a cheater try to loop the block.
Okay.
When the topic came up about us working things out, my words to him was exactly, I wouldn't trust you to go in a men's restroom by yourself.
Yeah.
Like literally, I would not, because he was a chronic cheater. So like why, like that's how deep it was to me. Like I wouldn't trust you to go into a men's restroom. And pee by yourself. Like I would be in there like, I'm coming with you. Like because I don't trust you was basically what I was. My point to him was I don't trust you. In a men's restroom. So that would be a no. We can't work it out. Like ever. Like I would never trust you. Now with that being said, the irony of it is there was a part of me that believed he would be like that with me because he knew he was such a cheater. You know what I mean? He would be up under me the whole time. You know what I mean? Because he lost me already. So who knows? But that's how, I interpreted it. Sandra said, "Hi, Derek."
Hi, Sandra.
You're a star today, honey.
Derek is a star today.
Yes.
People only get to see him once a year. He don't come out often, and when he does, he definitely ain't doing this.
We got him a little out of his comfort zone today.
You got to keep your rock polish.
The underside of my rock polish. So.
All right, so like, I'm gonna, since this is a safe space, I'm gonna, I really, as we started to like develop this topic, I was thinking to myself, because like I said, I've been cheated on. I really had to like think to myself, like, why the hell did I stay whenever like somebody cheated and I found out? So like, to be honest with you, the only thing that I could come up with is like an insecurity within myself.
Yes.
Like the me that I am today, because let's face it, like, people, most of us are changing as we get older. Like I would say it was like an insecurity within myself, and like staying with the person that cheated, I always like, obviously, because I love that person, like was hopeful that, things would change or get better, but it never ever got better. It made me more insecure. You know what I mean? Like, cause you don't trust that person the same when they say they going out and kicking it with the boys or whatever. Like, and it really just ultimately caused more problems. But a lot of times when somebody cheats on you, we do one of the first things that we do is ask, like, why? Like, did I do something?
We take it on ourselves.
We take it on ourselves. I hate that for us. Because most of the time it's not our problem, it's a them problem.
Right. Do you think it's the person who's cheating, you think it's a them problem most of the time?
Most of the time,
yeah.
More than it is like a you problem.
And the reason why I say it was an insecurity within myself is because like when you love yourself like very, very much, when you like know that you giving yourself to another person is truly like it's an experience that they should be like grateful for, and that you're not giving them that same type of energy. Like a boundary within you should automatically be to leave. Yeah, is what I'm saying.
Where I am right now, one time.
Yeah, you said like, one time.
No, I'm saying like I'm out. You got one time.
Yes,
you got one time to find out you cheating on me.
Same. Because at this point,
like,
we're looking for long term.
Like I don't have. Yes, I'm looking for long term. Hopefully marriage. Like I'm looking for somebody to build with. I want a best friend. You can't be those things if you out here cheating on me.
Right. I need you to see my value and be able to be disciplined enough to commit to me. And it just shows that you don't respect me. Yeah.
Like, respect is out the door.
Because to not cheat takes discipline. Period. Point blank. You have
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say you have to be disciplined, and I feel like for women, we get the DMs and all of that stuff, and it's not easy for us. Like, we could be like moving along, because when I'm completely happy with somebody, there's nothing nobody can do to come in.
Yes. When I'm going to show you, like, look at this dude over here texting
look at him
in my DMs. Look at him, babe. Tell him to stop. Tell him to quit it. So so something popped in my head as we've been talking, and I want Derek's perspective on this as a male. When you see a woman who stays with a guy who's a chronic cheater, what is your perspective on her?
She doesn't respect herself.
Right.
To be honest.
So let's say you're a player type dude, okay? And you see a woman who stays with a guy who's constantly cheating on her. Let's say she posting about it, who knows? Like, but she talking to everybody about it or whatever. So in that perspective,
there's somebody like that in my damn timeline. Exhausting. And
if you see this as a guy, are you thinking, like, say you're a player too? So say she becomes single. And she's put the business out there. So are you gonna be looking at her like, oh, I'm gonna get this easy target?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's 100% easy target.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, clearly she forgave him for what, 50 times?
Yeah.
I mean, I can at least get 20 out of her.
Or at least hit it a couple times before.
Yeah. At least 20 times.
Because in your mind, in my mind as a woman, I'm looking at it like your insecurity is all on display.
Yes.
Yeah.
All on display. And then
so
like
I can play you like a fiddle. So those type of women think, oh, I get all these inboxes, I get all this, and it's like, but some of them probably ain't pure.
Yes. Some of them know what it is.
Not even some that are in mine probably are pure. Mm-hmm. And I don't even put my business out there like that. But I'm just saying,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it
But I wanted a guy's perspective, how you look at that, like.
A lot of times it just is more of a passing the baton in that scenario.
That's deep.
Yeah.
So I mean, at that point, the guy could either go directly to her, or he could be like, "Hey, you done with her? Like, can I get a turn? Like, I think she's fine. So why not?"
And then you kind of already know as a man at that point that you can play with her like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Or use her for whatever it is you can use her for, or...
Yeah.
So as you guys are saying that, as you guys are talking about that, that's making me think like when women do put themselves out there to date again, right? Even if it's been some time, they took their time, had a little healing journey or whatever. But if they're on this date, or if the guy asks what happened in your last relationship, would it make you view the woman differently if she says like he cheated? Like,
do you think that's something she should share, or should she keep?
Yeah, should she keep that to herself?
I think it should be shared. Now, if she forgave him, I'd say that's a little different.
Like not to share it.
Not to share that.
She
I forgave him like 6 times before I called it quits. Like, then it might come off like, so I can at least do it twice.
So let's see. I got 5 times before.
So I got about 5 times before you sick of me. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I obviously the past is the past, and it's not wrong to be open about it, but that kind of level of forgiveness and broadcasting that out and like, dang, she's been forgiving him for about 8 months now. Like, isn't this the 12th time that he's done this?
Okay, so let's say and when I'm asking these questions, this is nothing personal. I'm literally just playing devil's advocate and getting everybody's perspective on stuff. So like, let's say in a scenario, you didn't find out that your person was cheating. They told you. They came clean about cheating. Do you have a level of respect for that person because they told you and you didn't find out, or
do you think they deserve more forgiveness?
Y'all gonna make me pee on myself.
I don't know why I'm laughing about it.
Because by the way, that's never
confessed to me.
happened to me either. Yeah, I can always
maybe that's why
just
I'm laughing about it.
Yeah,
Like, well, you confessed.
Listen, yeah, that's never happened to me.
So basically, what you're saying is, hey, just to let you know, I've cheated on you 6 times. I'm done with this relationship. You can go ahead and start dating other guys, but
in the movies they'll be like, Janet, I cheated.
But they don't say how many times.
No, they just say I cheated.
They cheated. Like, like my conscience is killing me
now. My conscience is just really
I cheated
on
you.
At that point, they're really trying to push the other person away. Like, all right, come on now.
I'm hoping you leave me.
Yeah, that's basically what they're saying.
So I'm not the bad guy.
Yeah, prettych. So I can play the victim card. To be told you're getting cheated
Derek's
on
getting
by
all
the
kinds
cheater.
of love on
sure
here. Miss Evelyn's daughter Angela said, Derek.
Aww,
Remember
with
Angela said hi.
Okay.
Yeah, that's mad disrespectful to get told you're getting.
You think it's disrespectful?
You do?
Oh, yeah,
Do
absolutely.
you?
That's
Why
the
do you
biggest,
think it's
that's the biggest
disrespectful?
slap in the face you can give somebody.
But what if you and this
So
person
you
were
think
like,
they
let's
should
come
keep it a
clean?
secret if they're not caught?
I mean,
But what if you and this person are like, let's come clean so that we can start over, or so that we can start to fix some shit that we know is wrong in our relationship?
What if you're in therapy?
Yeah. Oh, what if you're in therapy?
What if you in therapy?
And y'all are coming clean. Y'all
And the
want to start from a
therapist
clean slate, and y'all getting all
Let's
the dirty
put it all
laundry
out on the
aired.
table.
Yeah. And that person is like, okay, well, I have been cheating. And then they say, but here's why. Blah, blah, blah.
again, it rolls back to the first question of, I mean, they've already shown you that side of them, that they are capable and they are obviously willing, and obviously if you haven't found any proof or evidence and you had to come to therapy to get that out in the air, that they are capable of hiding it. So you've already have all of these multiple strikes against that one person, and you're like,
right.
So
It's also
you're
me
saying a
personally,
secret
it's
is
hard.
a secret regardless. Whether you confess it, whether it's found out, like at the end of the day, the person was able to not consider you, think about your feelings.
correct.
None of that.
None of it.
They did it regardless of how you may have felt about it, if it hurt you.
If it destroys a family, if they lose half
You
their
lose
money,
a business.
they lose the house, they clearly
didn't care.
They didn't care.
yeah.
Even if it's just caught up in the moment, I mean, that's
You think if you truly care about somebody and love them, like people say or however, you're just not going to go down that path because you care about that person.
You're not going to put yourself in a situation to where that can be even considered.
Yeah.
Or to even lose that person in general.
Correct. If that's a whole true love, what have you, or you care about the other person, then you're not even going to be liking other people's Instagram photos. You're just not. You're not going to want that kind of suspicion in the other person's mind.
So going back to that, since you brought it up, you're saying even though you don't think it's a big deal, it's just a like or a love, and
Correct.
you're still saying though, if that bothers the person you're with,
Correct.
and you don't stop and continue to do it, you're really not caring about how they feel about it.
Correct.
Like,
because obviously it's if I'm in a relationship and then if the girl was to tell me, hey, I don't like you liking all these Instagram photos and Facebook posts and what have you,
specific ones.
Right,
Like all these booty
Thirsty boobies, you know, twerking, like, you know, lingerie pictures.
If she was to tell me, hey, this is bothering me, it really should not be so much effort on my part to stop. If I care about this.
So if she comes to you and says that and you're bothered that she thinks that and you're bothered by it, then you really are like should just be single.
Yes.
Because
you're
that's more important to you than her feelings.
Correct. You're hurting unintentionally, intentionally, what have you, regardless. You're hurting another person and ruining it for someone else. So it's unfortunate that a lot of people don't really care or have that kind of level of empathy when it comes to a relationship. But I mean, at the end of the day, you're essentially just ruining it for another person.
And why do you think that is? Do you think people are just self-centered? Like, I think that relationships are like, 100%. I always say, don't get in a relationship if you're selfish. Yeah. Because I think it's a selfless act.
You kind of have to be selfish, though.
How?
So I'll give you an example. So if me and Tiara were dating, I'll give you an example.
Let me pray about it. I'm just kidding.
Go ahead and bring out a book.
Let me manifest.
Book out, girl.
Let me manifest this. I'm just kidding. I couldn't help it. We was on live. Thank you, Jesus.
Dear Heavenly Father,
we are asking you and coming to you today.
If Tiara was to tell me something was bothering her to where one of my actions or what I'm doing is bothering her and making her not feel comfortable, obviously being with me in that relationship, then again, it shouldn't be any amount of effort on my part to not do it.
Right.
It shouldn't be so extraneous to where I'm like, oh man, but what about how I feel? Like,
or I've been friends with them a long time, or
Yeah.
I've never done nothing with them, or like I'm not in their inbox or under their comments, or
Right.
I'm not.
it's still again, you're not taking the other person's side into consideration. You're automatically going into a defense
Do
response.
you think it's and I'm gonna toss this out here just because it came to my head. Do you feel like that's a way of her? Do you interpret that as her trying to control you? Or do you think if somebody's
Because some people could.
yeah, some people interpret it that way. Like she's trying to control what I do. And
Right.
Like I'm taking it like she's trying to be hovering and I'm
babysitting
grown.
or whatever.
I can do whatever I want.
The same way that she has insecurities about her past experiences. Now it's on the flip side.
You're the one triggering.
Now I'm the one having insecurity of, well, now she's trying to control me.
Right.
Well, probably because I've had controlling exes.
Something personal with
Yeah,
you.
Right.
something personal, a personal
and
experience.
again,
with something controlling.
This is why communication in general is important in a relationship,
Yes.
because now I can tell her, hey, it kind of sounds like you're trying to control me.
Yeah.
Right.
From my past experience, that's what
Right.
it has been, is controlling. Are you wanting to control me, or like why are you telling me that this is bothering you?
And that sounds like a trigger kind of for somebody. It could
Right.
be like a trigger for somebody. So I got another question.
So would you still stop doing it though? Even if it was a trigger for you to her to come at you like that, would you be
still
willing to meet
stop
her
in the middle?
really meet her in the middle? Because now you both are having something that's triggering you.
Yes.
Well, in that scenario, both parties are going to be defensive, so the communication is more than likely going to break down in that regard. So at that point, I mean, this would more than likely have to be being told repeatedly, like, hey, this is bothering me, hey, this is bothering me.
Yes,
Kind of
because
get the point, to get the point across, like, hey, this is bothering me.
Yeah.
That you are liking all these, the swimsuit edition of Sports Illustrated.
Swimsuit edition of
I
Sports
mean-
Illustrated. Them models might be real one day, and you might
So
run into one at the mall.
Or it's like, is this what you really want? Because I don't look like this.
See,
Right.
now I
You know?
definitely can say that I have had that thought process.
Yes, I
You know what
have
I mean?
too.
Like, I don't look nothing like that girl who's
Nothing
loving
like
and
that.
liking. So maybe
Yeah.
you need to go be with that type of person.
Exactly.
Because that ain't me.
So while we're on this topic, is watching porn cheating?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That is a-
Yeah.
Now, is it cheating if you don't tell you're doing it behind your spouse's back? Like,
Or if you're doing it more than you're having sex with your partner?
There we go.
What's in the search feed when you're looking on XNXX or whatever?
Now you are we all answering this?
Yes.
So I will say this: I don't look at looking at porn
As cheating?
as cheating. Now I do think it can become a problem if, like you said, you'd rather look at porn than to be with me.
Yes.
I do think it can become a problem, an addiction, possibly, or something else can be involved in it.
Mhm.
But do I think that means he's cheating on me? I don't really interpret it that way. But that's
I'd rather you do that than cheat on me.
Right. So it's like I don't look at porn as like he's cheating. But I do think that, like I said, it could be an issue if he would rather be looking at porn than to be having sex with me.
It can also be an issue if you have a certain type of fantasy that I might not be into.
Bondage.
I'm
You
watching.
said
I'm watching.
Bondage. Yes, that's a
Or they
thing.
can
Some
be
people's
yeah.
bondage.
You
Like
be watching.
But
right?
tell me, I mean, shit, give me the opportunity to let you know if I'm into that or not.
Tia said, tie me up.
Tie me the fuck up. I would like to cheat. Pulling the balls in my mouth.
Blindfold me.
I took it a little too far,
Right.
but you know.
Right. Tierra taking it to extreme.
I mean, but, you know,
Tierra's over there just like.
yeah, it depends. Or, like, you know, if my person is looking at, you know, gay porn, I would have a problem.
Now, I think that's a little different.
Yeah.
Like, if my
But I'm
dude's looking
saying,
at
that's
two
what I'm
men
saying.
having
Like,
sex, I
depending
might
on
be
what's
like,
in the search feed, it could be like, okay, I may not be able to fulfill you, brother.
Like, I'm not sure if I'm the right sex you want.
Right.
Right.
Right. I may not, because there are some women who are okay with having a bisexual partner, but that's a whole nother conversation. We'll just leave that there.
Some are okay with it.
But yeah, so is watching porn
Cheating?
I don't know. That honestly depends on the person watching.
Y'all watching. Is watching porn cheating?
What you think?
I don't think it should be considered it, but at the same time, again, that is a very slippery slope.
Yeah.
Because one time, during the week, it happened and turned into 3 times, and then now all of a sudden, sex is non-existent in the relationship, and it just starts dwindling down, and that is a very, very slippery slope.
Yeah.
Right.
That some people can fall into. So.
Yeah.
Also, for your suggestion of if your man is watching gay porn, there are things called strap-ons.
You said get it together.
Yes, peg that man. Oh,
just
Lord.
a suggestion,
And I am not a beggar, by the way.
Right.
I'm not doing that.
Derek said
somebody for you is just
Derek
not
said
me.
y'all can work it out.
Yeah. Some women are open
And
to
they're
that,
okay
though.
with it.
You know,
They are.
there are some women who
They are.
help hiding family secrets.
Was there more on there that we was
No, we did talk about why someone would stay if someone cheats. I think we kind of touched on that, like what reasons people would stay.
Yeah.
Once a cheater, always a cheater, and then is there always a reason behind cheating? I think we touched on that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did touch on reasons why somebody would stay, didn't we, Derek?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about reasons why someone would cheat? I don't think we really dived into that.
Yes. Because I think that was one of the things we did talk about prior to going live.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why
cheat in the
would
first
somebody
place?
cheat?
So
I think we kind of discussed a little bit in other little topics of it. But
it's
not really.
obviously like a lack. That's what we did say. Like, is that it's a lack of something, but it could not even necessarily be a lack of sex. It could be like a lack of emotional support.
Yes. Yes.
That's usually a lot of times what it is for guys.
A lack of emotional support.
Yeah. A lot. I know.
What's important to y'all? Like, is it like when you say emotional support? It sounds
is that right up there with
because
sex?
men don't really do emotions. So are you meaning more in the sense of like just feeling appreciated?
Appreciated and being supported. If a lot of times, at least from my experience, a lot of times guys aren't given the leeway to show their emotions. So when they do go through hard times, laid off work, big bill comes up that they can't entirely take care of, or they aren't pulling their weight in the relationship, then a lot of times they'll feel inadequate and it will kind of get under their skin.
Yeah.
And again, they don't have the luxury to cry on someone's shoulder.
Right.
It showing that vulnerability a lot of times is 98% of the time will backfire on them and get used against them.
Yes,
so, I hear.
I hate that for our men though.
A lot of men say
to not feel like safe to really like express yourself or be vulnerable in relationships.
So a lot of times, emotional support can simply just sticking out the storm with them.
Like if they're going through a hard time.
Yeah.
Whatever that may be.
And not giving them a hard time or like adding on to that.
Right.
Adding on to it is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Realizing, but it also falls on the woman to realize like, oh, he's going through that difficult time. So let me just chill out.
Do you think as
quick.
women we should be more in tune with that? Because sometimes they might not tell us. Like if you know your man, you should know if he's going through a hard time, like something's different.
Or like how do we as women, how do you feel like we should go about being more emotionally supportive toward a man, like while they're going through something? Like what are some things that us as women could do, like example wise?
Women are generally a lot more perceptive of changing behavior.
Yes.
So y'all will kind of realize it sooner than we'll realize it ourselves. Hey, work is starting to stress me out because got a big project. Obviously, the woman's not gonna be able to help with that. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's not gonna hurt to be like, hey, I see that you're going through something. I don't know if you realize it or not, but I'm here for you. This, that, and the third. Make a sandwich.
What can I do to help?
So for a
Make me
man
a sandwich.
so for a man just saying I'm here if you need me is good enough. Like you don't need to be overbearing with it.
At least for me.
Right. Right. But just saying like I'm here if you need me.
That's enough.
Like that's all that needs to be said. It don't need to be like
all the extra nagging, like this needs to be done. This needs to be done. Like, we need to do this. This appointment's coming up. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And see, for some women, that could be their way of communicating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That could be them communicating or just trying to talk to you about those things. Or if they feel like it's your responsibility, it could be them just like, hey, let me kind of give him a nudge about that. It could be that for that woman, not even realizing that she is adding on to the BS or adding on to his pile of things that is overwhelming him in whatever way.
But again, that again falls under the category of communicating, and kind of both parties have to have that level at least to be effective in that sense.
Yeah.
So if you meet a guy and you are just starting out, and then you just not outright ghost you, but kind of like falls off on communicating wise, like that might be an indicator of him going through something.
Yeah.
But it also falls on his shoulders to communicate that to the new person or what have you. And
for some men, it's hard for them to say that something is going on. And a part of that could be how they're raised.
And then another big thing that I've noticed is, like I said before, he may not even realize it. He could just be going through the motions, and then just like, all this stuff is happening, texting just falls off the map, but all this stuff is happening, so I need to focus and get.
He's so engulfed in what's going on, like
he's
not even intentionally trying to pull away.
It's just happening.
Something is just happening.
Yeah.
It's having him pull away.
Yeah. That's hard. Relationships are so hard. Like, as we're talking about this, I'm just thinking about just how hard they are.
They're exhausting.
Yeah.
Deuce, Miss Evelyn, Angela's husband, Deuce Nelson.
I don't know you shit.
Tell Derek he still owes me for that table he broke at my house.
He holding grudges in the comments. He said, "Oh, I see him. Let me let him know."
Merry Christmas, Tiffany.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He said. So his wife had said on here earlier, hi.
Okay.
The wife, Angela, her mother watched Derek, Miss Evelyn, from up until what you was in what? When she passed, was you in first grade?
Up until I electrocuted myself.
Like what grade was you in? Maybe when she passed. Second grade? No, first grade. Yeah. I don't know how old he was, but she kept him prior to going to school, and then while he was in school, and then he electrocuted himself at her house. So now Derek is scared to death of electricity because he ain't forgot. How old were you? 2. And he remembers.
Some stuff just sticks with us. Yeah.
He's laughing. Dude said LOL. Nelson said LOL because he remembers.
Yeah. That's what happens when you stick a paper clip in the electrical outlet.
He stuck a paper clip in it. So what did you initially do? You put it on the bottom, like in the part in the middle,
in the grounding rod.
In the grounding, so it's nothing helping. And Miss Evelyn told him to stop, didn't she? Or said, you're going to electrocute yourself.
She was coming down the steps. She's like, you're gonna electrocute yourself. I'm like, nothing's happened so far, so I'll be fine.
It's fine.
And then, yep. As soon as I moved it from one hole to the actual live circuit,
his fingers were black. His fingers were black.
Yeah.
And she was real calm, wasn't she? She was such a calm older lady.
Like, go ahead and go to the kitchen.
And when I came to pick him up, she was like, well, today Derek electrocuted himself.
Put my hand in a pot of ice water with ice cubes in it. And then I was in there for about 20 minutes. And I'm like, my hand is starting to go numb. And she's like, keep it in there. Otherwise, that electrical burn is going to stay there. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Okay.
So here at 31 years old, he ain't never forgot that being electrocuted. When I moved out of my other house, I had that Ring doorbell. And I had Derek go out there, and there was like 4 little wires. And I had him go out there to remove it. And he had to put the new one on and reconnect the other one on and connect it. And it kept doing that shock. And Derek was like, nope, I ain't doing it. He finally got it, but he was like, nope, you ain't about to electrocute me.
And only things like that stuck with cheaters. Like, you remember that one time you fucked up. And you never do it again.
Oh, yeah. They're called STDs.
STDs? They're called STDs.
Divorce papers, too.
Like alimony.
Okay.
It's called alimony, child support.
So what's the moral of the story for y'all as far as cheating?
Yeah.
What's the moral here?
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Freaking cheat.
Don't cheat.
It's a
It's
risk.
not that hard.
It's a risk.
For some
You know?
people, boy,
Yeah.
you think you would ask him for all their front teeth.
Well, you might as well take them too, since it's so difficult.
It's a risk.
It is a
Spiritually, emotionally, financially.
Yes,
It's,
you're just hurting the other person.
You really are.
Possibly
And then,
long-term damaging them in some way.
and like again, you know, some women, you know, carry that with them or feel like it's a personal problem, and then they go out and it's hard for them in other relationships.
So let's say real quick, because I know we're like, do you think men take longer to recover from being cheated on than a female? You think men are more resilient? I mean, women are more resilient, or you think?
Oh yeah, when it comes to cheating, so I will if the guy, from me personally and from what I've seen and heard, if the guy actually cared about the woman, it's far more devastating for the guy than
Yes.
the woman.
Yes.
A woman, I could say took from a month to a couple years to recover. A guy will be single for 10 years and become a functioning alcoholic. He'll just throw himself into work. So,
Now I do believe
And that
and it's sad, but it is so true.
It's
And in there,
mind-blowing,
he
though.
probably would still date.
and he
He just
still
ain't gonna
would
get
forgive
serious.
he
her.
ain't gonna commit.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He's not. He would still date other women, but he's
Oh, yeah.
gonna
He
get
ain't
fully
gonna fully commit
Yep.
though.
committed.
Yeah.
Never.
And I've even said to a guy who was a cheater before, I said, I'm not sure who cheated on you, but she did it.
Whoever
she did it
hurt
for
you, get a
everybody.
number on you.
Everybody
Mhm.
after her has paid for
And
it.
there are people who I've came across who I definitely
Yes.
can see somebody hurt them. Because listen, who hurt you? I don't know who hurt you, but it's some underlying something against women. Shoot. Yeah.
But I just wanted to know, because I do think sometimes I feel like women are more resilient. Like, we might still have our triggers, but we're more like resilient to it to bounce back.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like sometimes men that I know that have been cheated on, it's something that they just don't recover from.
Yeah. And
Very
it's not
easily.
necessarily easy, like, through that bouncing back. It's not easy, because we have to work through our own emotions. We got to detach from you and all of that, and then go into other situations and hope that same thing don't happen to us again. Like,
Do you think sometimes because women deal with it, whereas men don't really,
Again,
we might do therapy, we might like talk to our girlfriends, we might be vulnerable about it, whereas men are just gonna just shut off.
yeah.
I
More
think
likely to, rather.
Right, because they
Yeah.
don't feel like they have somebody to talk to. You're not always gonna go to your boys
That's
and be like,
yeah.
man,
I think that's the
she
biggest
done
thing.
cheated on me. Like, y'all are gonna sit
Yeah.
down and have some drinks.
And I'm gonna
you
tell
know.
you right now, them boys are gonna clown the shit out.
Right,
of
that's what I mean.
See, and it's like it makes it to where you don't feel like you got that open, safe space to discuss it.
But that's kind of a difference between men and women friends. That's
Yeah.
a difference in communication for guys. Like,
Yeah.
that is our coping mechanism when we tell our friends that.
Yeah.
At least in my experience.
Like to razz each
Oh
other,
yeah,
like
absolutely.
to give each other
to
shit.
get you to laugh, to stop thinking about it, because
Like you're getting too emotional.
yeah, pretty much. It's,
No tears here, buddy. No tears.
right.
Yeah.
Now,
So yeah.
here's a beer and let's go hit on some of these chicks.
Look at all these beautiful women in the bar.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I think too, like that's like instead of like men actually healing from stuff, just going from one situation to another, I do think that's like a problem that contributes to so many relationship issues that we have out here.
I think a lot of times also is when guys do get emotionally invested and actually do care about his partner, and then they cheat, it's like,
I was vulnerable,
well, fuck.
and this is what you did.
Right. And this is what
I actually
anybody,
put myself
like,
out
clearly
there.
this is what anybody is capable of doing. So now it's like, why bother taking it seriously from this point on?
Right.
I won't ever give you that 100%. You can get 90, you can get 80, but no one's going to get that 100%.
I'm never gonna put myself out there enough to where you're gonna put
Right.
me and hurt
I'm
me.
always
like
going to
that.
have that nugget of safety of like, all right,
Right.
Yeah.
always expect this. Like,
Right.
it's going to
Yeah.
suck, but always expect it to like not go the way you want it to.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
All right, that was a great topic.
I think that was really a nice little
I just want to say
dive.
thank you to my son Derek for
Yes.
being here live.
And your perspective was absolutely
Yes.
helpful today.
Anybody
So-
who knows him, he is such an introvert. So
I
this
just
is
wanna let you
this
guys
is
know
big for him
this
to be
was
here.
against
for
my
me.
will.
I have a gun.
Oh,
I have a
here.
gun right
Right, we
behind
have a
him.
gun. He was like, "Don't make us tase you, damn it! You
Shut
better
the
get
fuck
out
up
here."
and sit down.
Right, he's over here like, "Help! Blink twice, Derek. Blink twice."
But thank you guys so much for tuning in to Wisdom and Wine tonight. Please let us know in the comments what you thought about this episode. Feel free to chime in even afterwards. We will read them. We will continue to talk about this, and we're open to your perspective too. We are wishing y'all the happiest holidays.
Yes.
Sending y'all love and good
Well,
vibes,
and
except for the cheaters.
right, no cheaters. We ain't sending y'all no good vibes. Also,
Stop
make
cheating.
sure you tune
Leave.
in. Go ahead and like Wisdom and Wine, our page.
Yes.
I do have an Instagram page as well.
Mhm.
Go follow Tierra. She now has a podcast with Growth University, so make sure you tap into that. Try to find her podcast. Is it like just
It's
under
Growth University. The podcast is on Spotify. It's on Apple. And I do have another episode dropping on January 3rd. But we go all into deep dives as such. And it's really just a podcast that's like all about your mental wellness, all about your mental well-being. So this is for men and women. So
Yes.
check me out on Facebook, TikTok. I'm all over the place. Just look up Growth University and you will find me. Yeah, girl.
Yes, and one last thing. In January, we do have another Wisdom and Wine session coming up.
Yes.
It's supposed to be January 12th for those who would like to tap in. We will have for sure one guest.
Yes.
Possibly two.
Girl, for 2024, we got a lot of good conversations
We do.
coming.
We
And
have a
some
good
guests.
lot of conversations
Yes, we got
coming
some
up.
good guests that are going to be hopping on. So.
And we are in January. We're going to be talking about entrepreneurship. So we're going to have a couple entrepreneurs on to discuss like the good, the bad stuff they went through. Give people some pointers on how to start their own business, what worked for them, what didn't work for them. So make sure you definitely look for us in January. Get out and get you some vinaigrette, strawberry wine.
You will
It's
not
so
regret
delicious.
it, okay? And then I don't know if we mentioned this on this episode or not, but this is like a silver medal winning wine. Listen, Ohio Wine Producer Wine Competition. They won a silver medal. Girl, listen, I was feeling this. When I first had it, I said, oh my goodness.
You all have a great holiday. Be
Yes.
safe out there. The police are out, trust me. Be safe. And if we don't get to see you, have a happy new year.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
And quit cheating.